Hello, everyone. On the occasion of World Athletics Day, today's podcast focuses on the evolving world of athletics in India. Not just the victories on the field, but also the mental strength, resilience, and discipline that shape every athlete's journey. We are honored to have with us Wasim Mullah, an international athlete and fitness coach known for his inspiring journey of resilience and comeback in athletics. A triple jump specialist who has represented India internationally, Wasim's story reflects determination, perseverance, and the true spirit of never giving up. Welcome to our show, Wasim.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. Thanks, man.
Okay, so to begin with, how important is mental health in an athlete's overall performance and long term success?
Well, if you see, mental health is equally important as your physical health because no matter how much you practice and you have a whole year to go through for practicing for important competitions, but if you're mentally unstable, like if you're nervous or if you're anxious about something during the competition, so that actually impacts your performance. So there are a lot of mental health issues that as a sportsman we have to go through. It's not just athletics, but overall in sports, especially the pressure situation and the fear issues. Whenever we are like as an athlete standing on the tracks there before the start of a 100-meter race or any competition, there are jitters and a lot of things going on in our mind, a pressure situation, looking at the other athletes, how well they have practiced. Just there are a lot of things and pressure to perform, pressure to win, and so those things, fighting all those odds and then performing. So it's really important to have a good, strong mentality for a sports competition.
So then that truly shows success in sports is just not driven by your physical ability, but also very importantly, mental strength. So India today has also made a remarkable progress in athletics over the years. So how do Indian athletes today compare globally in athletics? And what do you think the progress has been made in the recent years?
Well, now I see the athletes practicing, and if I compare to what we used to practice, is a drastic change. I mean, there are a lot of, today's athletes have got a lot of exposure to, videos, coaches. A lot of there are social medias and video footages available. We have AI going on. So the things have become easier. There's a lot of scientific research been happening, and things have been progressed well. So compared to what we used to perform and practice, the exposure what the today's athletes have is quite good scientifically and the facility wise. So the performance has improved. I mean, the kind of performance what we used to have in nationals, now I see those athletes performing at a state and district level. So the performance level has increased, the slab has increased, and Indian athletes have gradually athletics in India compared to cricket and other games is on a low line, but still the performance wise there has been improvement. The records have been shattered quite few, often now. Earlier it used to be each record used to stay for long years, like 10 long years at least, but now the records have been breaking, the young athletes are coming up, and the equipment's available, the spikes and everything, so it's like a drastic improvement and overall um, availability and facility that has also improved their performances together.
So then there's a great transition, that has really happened over the years. So
Correct.
with, I think with greater recognition also comes greater pressure then. So what are some of the biggest mental and emotional challenges faced by athletes in India today?
Uh, well, as you get exposed to social media and other facilities, so along with those things, there is also always, comparison. Pressure is always there, okay, and a fear situation. These two things emotionally drain an athlete, okay. So pressure to always win because in India you are only recognized if you are winning, but they don't see how much efforts you're putting, how much pressure you're going through, what all difficulty conditions. So nobody actually matters for even for sake family, friends. They always ask what you're winning, when did you play, what is your next competition, you won or you lost. That's the only kind of question. So that actually makes an athlete kind of an anxious and nervous at the same time. That the pressure to perform and win And if there is injury, it plays a very demoralizing situation when you're going through some kind of injury to recover that and play, or you miss a season and then again you have to practice the whole year to wait for the next season to come and compete. So, and then people always compare you, like what you did, and there's another athlete who's playing better. So, if there's an athlete who's performing good at seen on TV, then you will be compared to or probably an international athlete or Usain Bolt or any athlete. You will be always compared to that level of athlete where you are still trying, working hard at a national level, trying to represent your country. So that comparison by people, if it hampers you, you're gone. But if your mentality is strong, that you know what you're doing, your consistency is there, you're practicing and you're focusing and slowly improving, then you're stable. But if you lose that focus and get under pressure, finish. The performance is gone.
So you would agree that in today's digital age, athletes are constantly under public scrutiny, as you just said. So how do pressure, public expectations, and social media impact that mental well-being of a sports person?
But that's what, like I said, when you're compared to other athletes or when you're asked a constant question, what you're doing, what you're winning, when did you win? So these kind of questions or ask or the gestures by people, suppose if you go to a race and if you come second or third, even that, oh, you came second. So, that kind of a body language or those expressions, they somehow hamper an athlete's overall morale. And then on social media, people post their performance and practice videos and reels. And overall, like, even you're posting your reels on that. And then after the competition, if you happen to lose the race or something, then there's no reels posted and people ask questions like, what's happening? So, being connected is also kind of a pressure situation that creates when you're going for a competition. The many athletes prefer staying out of social media, keeping silent, and just quietly focusing on the game.
So, your win at Malaysia when you represented our country and came second. Can you share two lines or few lines about, what did you
Yeah, I
feel at that
mean,
moment?
well, that was an amazing experience. Actually, there's a little tragic story behind that success. In 2010, when India was a hosting country for Commonwealth Games, so I was actually anticipating to participate in that, being the hosting country. But unfortunately, I suffered a very rare illness called as myositis, and I was completely off the sports. Doctor told me like I don't know whether you will be able to play or not. So that peak performance had completely shattered out. There was no hopes that I could ever play. So I started coaching and these kind of things. But there was some kind of a zeal to somehow play and at least come back, not win. So it took me about like 10 years. So at the age of 35, I was competing with these young athletes of 2021 open competition and somehow winning that nationals, getting selected for international and going and playing and even winning the medal for India. I was at a hope that at least I'll play, participate. But winning was like a like a God's gift. It's a great blessing, and I always cherish that. So it was equal to winning like an Olympic medal for me because that difficulty how I'd face, I am aware of that. Yeah,
Excellent, excellent. So, as we conclude this special World Athletics Day conversation with you, today's discussion definitely reminds us that true success in sports is shaped not just by performance, but also by resilience, discipline, and mental strength. So,
true.
behind every achievement is a journey of perseverance and courage, as you just spoke, about your victory. We thank you, Wasim Mullah, for sharing your inspiring insights and reminding young athletes of the power of consistency and a strong mindset. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. Thank you for
You
being
too.
on our show today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.